Hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news, and update show. Manchester United's third Mbeumo bid is going to go in today. Manchester United finally moving. Please, could this club take any longer? We are literally going on Monday. We are going back to training on Monday, getting ready for pre-season. 1 in, 0 outs. No more excuses. Hurry up. I know that Brentford are asking for a crazy fee. I know that it's taking time. I get that. But we need to get moving. Now, I've always said, look, I wasn't going to expect much movement on the outs until July 1st, so relax, calm down a bit. But you need Mbeumo in. We need Mbeumo in by Monday. I want at least Mbeumo and Cunha ready. And by the time we're in America, I want a third signing. But to get that third signing, we need some sales. And talking of sales, we've had a lot of clubs interested in Jadon Sancho. A lot of clubs willing to spend 25 million on Jadon Sancho. The problem is, Jadon Sancho is just sitting there like, no, I want more money. No, I want more money. Reports are coming out today that Jadon Sancho is finally now willing to reduce his wage demands to get a move to Juventus. That is what is coming out now. So I'm waiting for some more credible confirmation on that from a more credible source. But there is now starting to be news coming out about Jadon Sancho to Juventus heating up, about Jadon Sancho being willing to take a wage cut. So we could be getting an out very, very soon. There's also a couple other things heating up in regards to Jadon Sancho's exit. You've got news on Ollie Watkins being very open to taking to a move to Manchester United. News about Ollie Watkins being very, very open about a move. Victor Gyokeres apparently is close to a move to Arsenal, but actually, is he actually close? Is it credible news? Is it not credible news? We'll talk about Garnacho, we'll talk about Rashford and a couple other stuff. I mean, I guess we're going to have to talk about Mbeumo again for the 9th, millionth, 999th, trillionth, gazillionth time about an Mbeumo deal being close. I feel like I might have said an Mbeumo deal was close 100 times in the last week or so. I honestly feel like... But let's actually have a chat about it. Let's have a discussion about Mbeumo, because this has come out from United NAD. Now, United NAD works with United District. United District are credible. United NAD is credible. The type of people that would only put out information if they felt it was true. They're not, the type of people that would make up information. And they're coming out in regards to Bryan Mbeumo, and are coming out and basically saying that Manchester United is set to submit a fresh bid. There was also reports coming out yesterday that Manchester United were going to submit a 65 million bid to get the deal done. There's a feeling that will get the deal done, although we were told 62 million would get the deal done, and Brentford now want more. So we were told 60 million would get it done, wasn't enough. We were told 65 million, 62.5 million would get it done, wasn't enough. There is suggestions from other sources that this bid could be around 65 million, as discussed in my live show yesterday. But United NAD, who works with the United District, said that Manchester United is set to submit a fresh bid for Bryan Mbeumo today. We're moving today. It better be today. I'm fed up. It's been a month. Since the Ornstein bomber. Following a fresh round of talks, United want him to be at the club for Amarin's first day of pre-season training. So, please, give me an Mbeumo. Here we go today. I am fed up of talking about this guy. It's almost taking the excitement out of this deal. It is almost taking the excitement out of this deal. I am fed up. I want it done. We need it done. It's a great signing. Amarin's plan for him is genius. Put this bid in. Make it 65 million. Make the add-ons achievable. And Brentford will accept. I'm sure of it. If Brentford say no and say they want 70 million, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind at Brentford. And while I'm frustrated at Manchester United taking their time, if Brentford do reject a 65 million bid and say they want 70 million, then they can absolutely shove up their ass. Not that I will walk away at this point. It's just too far gone. I'm too fed up. But I would, yeah, that's how I feel. Some people say we should just walk away. It's too much. It's a difficult one, because I feel like we shouldn't be paying 70 million when we know that Manchester City would have got the guy for £55 million, and we know that there's the Man United tax there. But at the same time, if Semenyo was available for 55 million, you could walk away. But because Semenyo signed the new deal at Bournemouth, because Kudus is now set to go to Tottenham. It's a bit of a situation that I look at and go, well, you've got Semenyo that would be at least 80 million to do a deal now, and he's not better than Mbeumo. There's no point going for Elanga. João Pedro is gone. Morgan Rogers is going to be about £90 million in this market. Kudus is about 60 million, so only 5 million cheaper, and Mbeumo is better. Eze seems Arsenal bound. We're now sort of in a position where it's taken so much time that the alternatives are running out. This is what's going to annoy me, if they want that, because it's taken the mick. 65 million including add-ons. Surely that's going to be enough. Surely Brentford are going to be fed up. Surely they know Mbeumo doesn't want to be there. They've got a new manager coming in. They want to spend money on the new manager. Surely Brentford are going to get fed up. Surely. It's been a month. June 2nd, Ornstein reminded us that Mbeumo wanted to join Man United. June 2nd. Yeah? And we're only getting news now, a third bid. It's annoying because the thing is, obviously Chelsea got João Pedro wrapped up quite quick. Newcastle making bids. Chelsea got João Pedro wrapped up quite quick. But Chelsea were working on João Pedro for 2 months, but there wasn't really any noise about it until a few days before they signed him. They were working on Gittins for a while as well. So because Chelsea got Gittins and João Pedro, and because City went and got Reinders, Cherki, Ait-Nouri so quickly, but Chelsea and City had to move quick because of the Club World Cup, it is a bit more frustrating. If you look at Arsenal, compared to Arsenal, we're fine. You look at Liverpool, though, they've just won the league. They've just equalled our 20 titles. They've gone and brought in 3 elite signings, now trying to get players out the door to potentially bring in Isak, which is taking the mick. It's frustrating because other clubs are moving quicker and more efficient. Not Arsenal, who are definitely holding up the market in the striker market. I don't know what Andrea Bert's doing there. We're talking about Andrea Bert's master plan. Maybe it is. Who knows? But it's getting boring. It's getting boring. Alice, has Arsenal agreed a fee for Gyokeres? No, not that I'm aware of. Not credibly, no. There's reports coming in about there being a verbal agreement between Gyokeres and Arsenal, but I don't think that's new news, because basically, if news comes out and says that Gyokeres' preference is Arsenal, and then a few weeks later news comes out that there's a verbal agreement between Gyokeres and Arsenal, that's basically the same thing in different words. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's new news in regards to Gyokeres. We just know he wants Arsenal. But look, Mbeumo big coming in today. United better hurry the F up. I'm fed up. Let's talk about Sancho, because we haven't had any outs, but now we're in July. The outs should hopefully get a move on. And I'm waiting for more credible sources to confirm this, because I'm not going to lie, I don't know how good this source is. But I'm at the point where I'm so desperate to get rid of Sancho, I'm going to believe anything that's said about him. But it's got 172k followers, this source. And that is apparently that Jadon Sancho is now willing to reduce his wage demands to join Juventus. So there's now reports coming out that Jadon Sancho is now willing to reduce his wage demands to join Juventus. Now, we're in a situation here right now. 0 outs. But what do we know on the outs? Malacia, we can't find any suitors. That's going to be a problem. Casemiro, high wages and less Saudi come in. That's going to be a problem. Anana, high wages, had conversations with Monaco. They couldn't afford the financial package. Unless Saudi come in, that's going to be a problem. Baindy are expected to go. Nothing happening yet. Marcus Rashford wants Barcelona. Barcelona don't want to pay for Marcus Rashford. Barcelona are going to be a problem to deal with, but I do think the deal will happen. Anthony, Real Betis just made 50 million, but they're still finding creative ways to get Anthony on the cheap. Anthony's willing to take a wage cut to join Betis. I think we'll get some movement this week. Alejandro Garnacho, low wages, a lot of clubs interested in him. You look at the market now, 50 million being rejected for Elanga, Diblin getting 100 million priced on him, João Pedro going for 60 million, Semenyo now off the market looking at 70, 80 million. You look at Kudus going for 60 million. I think there will be some interest in Garnacho. Chelsea have shown some interest in Garnacho even after signing Gittins. Should be some movement on that. Sancho, there's interest there. Teams are willing to spend the money to bring in Sancho. Will he take a wage cut? Apparently, yes. If Sancho takes a wage cut, he will be the next exit. bish bash bosh, and the wages we saved with Sancho leaving would honestly maybe be enough to help us get a striker over the line. I think it was the Muppeteers that said that if we sold Sancho and Antony, which could be a possibility this week if Sancho is willing to take a wage cut, I do think Antony's going to move massively this week because Betis have made the money announce. I think Antony's going to advance this week. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Sancho, if he's willing to take a wage cut, if this information that's being reported is true, if those two players go, that gives us the funds to bring in a striker. It is Mbeumo. Boom, done. Let's get it done. Boom. Let's say we get Mbeumo up for 65 million. Boom. And we sell Sancho and we sell Antony. Then we have enough funds to go and move for a striker or go and move for a midfielder. And then if we sell Garnacho, we have the funds for another 2 signings. If we sell Rashford, Antony, if we sell Rashford and Garnacho for 100 million pure profit, which is looking less and less likely because of Rashford, Antony and Sancho this window, we will be in a position to sign Mbeumo, Cunha, a new striker, a new centre mid, and a 5th position, which would either be a defensive player or a goalkeeper. We're in the position to bring in 5 signings. We just need those outs to move. There's talk of Jasari. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with AC Milan and Jasari. Fabrizio Romano must have tweeted about 100 things about Jasari and AC Milan. We've been linked to Jasari. Apparently, we have interest in him, but I don't know if we're just being used to get more money out of Milan. AC Milan have now put in a bid worth 30 million for Jasari. Club Brugge want more. AC Milan have put in about 4 bids for Jasari, and Club Brugge keep asking for more and more and more. Like ridiculous money. I mean, his price tag is really starting to go up, Jasari, isn't it? Really starting to go up. You know, Romano said last week that AC Milan put in a 25 plus 5 bid, and then they put in a 27 plus 5 bid that was rejected, and then AC Milan put in a 27 plus 5 bid that was rejected, and now AC Milan are putting in a 30 million bid that was rejected, and now AC Milan are putting in a 32.5 million bid plus add-ons, taking it to 38 million. His price tag keeps going up and up and up. I don't know what's going. We've been linked to Richard Rios, we've been linked to Jasari, we've been linked to Edison, we've been linked to Hayden Hackney, but there is no movement yet. We've also been linked to Douglas Luiz, and Douglas Luiz potentially being part of a deal for Sancho. Jasari's best midfielder, United must sign. If we don't get Edison. Jasari looks good, but I don't know loads about him. United should pay the part of his wages using 23 million Juventus offering. I mean, I don't know. It's not. The difficult thing is, so Wan-Bissaka left Man United, and because he left Manchester United with 1 year left, we gave him a payout which would have balanced out on what he would have earned in his final season at Man United to thank him for going to West Ham a year early, so we didn't lose him on a free and made a bit of money for him. We gave him 3-4 million to make up the difference in the salary he'd be making at West Ham that year. Jadon Sancho wants to be making more money over the next 5 years. It's not just 1 year, it's the next 5 years. But I do think if Juventus give us 25 million for Sancho, and we only wanted 25 million for Sancho, and we got that 5 million from Chelsea, let's just give Sancho the 5 million Chelsea gave us to bugger off at this rate. If Juventus give us 25 million, give Sancho the 5 million that Chelsea gave us for him to bugger off. I think that would be surely something that we consider just to get him out the door. Do you think we'll sign a midfielder? Yes, but not anytime soon. I mean, considering how long it's taking to get Mbeumo over the line, midfield's going to go into August. It is. Mbeumo moving this week, hopefully today, fingers crossed, bish bash bosh. Sales, I think striker signing. When Garnacho goes, I think there will be a big bit of movement, and then midfield. But I think midfield and goalkeeper could go into August. I think July is going to be sale. I think early July, we should get Mbeumo done, and then it's going to be sales and a striker signing. I think August is when we hear midfielders. I don't think we're going to hear much on midfield movement until there's been some exits. Yeah, I like what I've seen of Jasari. You know, he looks like a good player. He looks good in those tight spaces. But I think he will go to AC Milan. So what else has been said on Sancho? So reports coming out of Italy said more talks are expected between Manchester United and Juventus in the coming hours to finalise a deal for Sancho. Fabrizio Romano then said via Give Me Sport, the Fenerbahce never had any concrete contact to sign Sancho, as they believed it was impossible to proceed with the deal. The player is pushing for Juventus or to play for a top European club, Juventus and Napoli. He was given priority to over Fenerbahce. But there is also more reports coming out via United exclusive. They find these sources that I can't find, so big up to them. Give them a follow. They are saying that new contacts expected in the coming hours between Juventus and Manchester United for Sancho. Juventus have shown that they would be willing to put on the table one of the players in a swap deal who are not currently central to the project, including Vlahovic, Douglas Luiz, and Weah. So there is even potential of a swap deal. I would rather just sell Sancho. I'd rather sell Sancho, get him out, bish bash bosh. If a swap deal's the only way we're going to get Sancho out the club, I'm willing to do it. But I'd rather not to do a swap deal. I'd rather just get Sancho gone, bish bash bosh. That's what I'd rather do if I was going to be totally honest. But it looks like there's things are going to advance in regards to Sancho's exit in the coming hours. Although, how many times have we been told, oh, this deal's going to advance today? We get to the end of the day, there's nothing new. We get to the end of the week, 7 days later, there's nothing new. How many times do we get told a deal's going to advance today, there's meetings in the coming hours, United are going to advance, the deal is close, and 1 week's gone by and nothing has changed, and 2 weeks gone by and nothing has changed. It's I just don't care. Like, we've been told Mbeumo is close for 4 weeks. 3 weeks ago, we were told the Mbeumo deal could be done this week. 3 weeks ago. Well, it's been 3 weeks and it wasn't done that week. It wasn't done the week after. It wasn't done the week after. And now we're 3 weeks after he said that and it's still not done. We've been told Sancho is really close to accepting a wage cut. There's more talks going on with Juventus and United. Let's get the Sancho deal over the line. Well, that's not happened yet, has it? So it's this. I just wish we could get a bomber. I want a bomber. I don't want deals we know it's going to happen, but it's dragging on for weeks and months. I want to wake up tomorrow. And I want to wake up tomorrow. And do you know what I'd love to see tomorrow? Chelsea makes 60 million bid for Garnacho, rejected. Manchester United wants 65 million. Boom. That comes out at 9 a.m. tomorrow. 5 o'clock tomorrow. Chelsea makes 65 million for Garnacho. Personal terms agreed. Manchester United accept 65 plus 5 million bid for Chelsea. Manchester United makes 70 million for Garnacho. Bish bash boss. 24 hours come out of nowhere. That's what I want to see. Do I think we're going to see that? No. Do I think we're going to see those figures? No. But if we could wake up with Chelsea agreeing personal terms with Garnacho and making the 60 million bid that we rejected, then we get 70 million out of Chelsea by the end of the day and it's done within 24 hours. Bish, bash, bosh. That's the kind of bomber I want to wake up and see. I don't want to be saying every day, oh, Mbeumo's close. Oh, Mbeumo could be today. Mbeumo could be tomorrow. Mbeumo could be in 2027, for all we know. Mbeumo will join Manchester United if Brentford and Man United agree a fee. There we go. Have Brentford and Man United agreed a fee? Well, reportedly, yes, but actually, no, they didn't. They agreed a base fee, but Brentford want more in add-ons. But then they didn't agree a base fee. They agreed a total package, but Brentford want more base fee. Some sources say agreements. Some sources say no agreements. Apparently, the financial package was agreed, but Brentford want more in add-ons. Brentford want a couple million more out of United. It's just like, goes on and on and on and on. People are saying they'd agree, just pay Sancho 10 million if we need to get rid of him at this rate. We're getting a 25 million fee. It honestly feels like that. I would rather just sell Sancho for 25 million, get him gone, invest the money elsewhere. But if the only way to get Sancho done is to get Vlahovic coming the other way, I'm not against it. Like, I'm that desperate for Sancho to go. I don't want him running down his contract. I don't want him here another year. I don't want to see him play again. Yeah. Someone said Eze Bomber. What's the Eze Bomber? Let me have a look. Is there some news coming out on Eze? I know he's quite close to Arsenal. Eze is going to be such a good signing for Arsenal, man. I'm jealous. If Arsenal sign midfielders and defenders, I don't care. But Arsenal signing good attackers, yeah, I do care. People are talking about what has actually been said on Eze. Is he close to joining Arsenal? I think he is. Romano said 2 hours ago, after contract revealed on Monday, Eze has opened the door to an Arsenal move. He's open to joining Arsenal, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Eze just looks like a baller. He's got great character, great personality. Apparently he won like a chess tournament as well. Brains. I like Eze. I feel like Eze is one of those players you cannot dislike. And the annoying thing is he's going to Arsenal. Like, I don't know how you can dislike the guy, but then he's going to Arsenal, who are... Do you know what's mad? Liverpool, for me, are the worst team. Liverpool, for me, are the team I dislike the most. City, I dislike them. I also have no respect for them because of the cheating and all of that. But I feel like Arsenal are the most dislikable. Because Liverpool are dislikable because they're our arch rivals. Yeah. But they've won stuff. They can back up the talk. Liverpool fans don't give up that much talk. Considering they've won 2 Premier Leagues in the last few years, they've won a Champions League, Liverpool fans don't give out anywhere near as much talk as Arsenal that have only won the FA Cup in the last, 15 years. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal talk the talk for second place. I don't know what it is about Arsenal, but they're more dislikable than Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool, always going to be my number one rivals. Always going to be the team I dislike the most. But the Arsenal fan base, Arteta, for me, is one of the most dislikable managers in the Premier League. Blaming the ball when he loses. Oh, we beat PSG on XG. We were the better team. Oh, sour loser. Arteta dislikable. He makes Arsenal so dislikable. And then they go and buy likeable players like Eze. That I don't think I can dislike Eze. But then if he goes to Arsenal, do you know what I mean? That's it. I like Eze. Not that we need him because we've got Cunha. I think we need someone on the right. But it would be a good signing. M-City more annoying than Liverpool because they're cheats. It hurts more when Liverpool win. But I think that's because Manchester City's win, it's not as real. Does that make sense? Like when Man City win the Premier League, because of their lack of history, because of the charges, because of the amount of money they spent, it doesn't feel as big as an achievement as when Liverpool win it, so it hurts less. When Man City win the Premier League, it sucks, but you forget about it because they don't have big parades, or it's just forgot about within 24 hours when Man City win the league. Everyone forgets about it. But when Liverpool win, you don't forget about it, you remember it. So it hurts the most when Liverpool win. City, I have the least amount of respect for because of the cheating and the way the club operates. Arsenal are the most dislikable because they don't win, but they talk like they win. I don't like those 3 clubs. If those 3 clubs could all have a bad season next year, that'd be great. If we could finish above those 3 clubs next year, that'd be great. Like Chelsea, I'm not a big fan of, but if Chelsea win the league, I'm not going to care too much. You know, Newcastle, don't care if they win the league. Villa, don't care if they win the league. But if one of those 3 teams win the league, I care. I do. Where do you think we'll finish next season? 8th. As of now. But let's see how the transfer window goes. I'm hoping for if we sign Watkins, Mbeumo, Cunha, a good midfielder, a wing back, and a good goalkeeper, I think we could push top 5. If we signed that, but we got to sell to sign that. Because a couple of people were being negative about the prospect of signing Watkins. I'm all for Ollie Watkins for 40 million. If you could get Ollie Watkins for 40 million, I'm all for it. Man United goals last season, 44. Cunha, Watkins and Mbeumo, 51. All in prime years, all Premier League proven, all good players. For me, for the right price. You know, I don't think it's something that will happen as of yet, but I'd be open to that. If we have this front 3, a good midfielder, a good keeper, and a good wing back, I think we could get back in the top 5. I do. But that's a long way off. I actually have no idea what bish bash bosh means. Actually, I'm going to be honest. I just said it like once or twice, and then I think it means like job done or boom, boom. You know when you go like yes, boom. I don't really know what it means. I just use it. Just use it. People put it in the chat. I just use it, to be honest. But I think it means like boom, like that's sorted. Maybe this is when it means something really offensive. Bish bash bosh mean. Imagine if it like meant something really offensive and I've been using it for like the last 2 years. No, it doesn't. It does mean like it's a phrase to kind of say boom, it's done. Bish bash bosh, sorted. That's good. Imagine if I googled it and it was something really offensive. I'd have been like, oh no. Do you know what? Do you ever have words? This is off topic. And then you think they mean something and then you find out they mean something else and you're like, okay. Yeah. But yeah, it means basically done. Let's talk about Watkins because we have got some news about Watkins. We've got some news about Watkins coming out. That he's open to a Manchester United move. Let me get my slides up. Should we all talk about Watkins and Gyokeres? Oh, also in regards to Sancho, It was said that United and Juventus were in deep talks regarding Jadon Sancho. This was said via Sky Sports News, and there's contractual discussions going on. Can't pronounce that. There is reports coming out from L'Equipe that Arsenal are now advancing on a verbal deal for Gyokeres. I'm going to cover this because people are going, oh, does this mean Gyokeres is going to Arsenal? This doesn't mean Gyokeres is going to Arsenal, by the way. This doesn't mean Gyokeres is going to Arsenal because Gyokeres has chosen Arsenal. We've known that for 3 weeks. He's now advancing on a verbal agreement with Arsenal. That means nothing. Arsenal could have a verbal agreement with Gyokeres and Sesko, and it's no different to being told that Gyokeres and Sesko want Arsenal over Man United. So don't worry about that. Arteta needs a lifetime contract, says Gaz. The king of second place. The king of second place, the king of excuses, Arteta. So yeah, a couple of people like, oh, Gyokeres is going to Arsenal, getting scared. Gyokeres to Arsenal's close. Gyokeres told Manchester United his preference was Arsenal 2 weeks ago. Gyokeres having a verbal agreement with Arsenal is nothing because we know he wants Arsenal. If Gyokeres had said to Arsenal, I want Manchester United, I'm prioritising Man United, and then this news came out that Arsenal are now advancing on a verbal agreement with Gyokeres, it would be news. But it's not news. It's not news. If Gyokeres agrees personal terms with Arsenal, that is not news. What is news in regards to Gyokeres and Arsenal is Arsenal making a bid and Sporting accepting that bid. Because until Arsenal make a bid that gets accepted by Sporting or RB Leipzig, none of it is news. This is not relevant news. Unless Gyokeres wanted to join Man United, then this came out today, and we all thought that Gyokeres was in the bag, and then it comes out today that he wants Arsenal with a verbal agreement, then it's not news. So it doesn't really change Gyokeres to Arsenal. Like, I think Arsenal will maybe get Gyokeres. They're going to get one of Gyokeres or Sesko. But that is not really like anything that changes the situation. I don't think that's major news. Okay, let's get into a few other updates and stories going about them. Because I've got a couple other things to get into, and one of them is, of course, Ollie Watkins. There's reports coming out via Court of Side that Ruben Amorim views Ollie Watkins as ideal and that Watkins is open to a Manchester United move. Now, I've always felt that Watkins would be open to a Manchester United move. I know his dream's always been Arsenal. I know that we're not in the Champions League and Villa in the Europa League and all of that. But I've always felt that Watkins would somewhat be open to a Manchester United move because weirdly or not, and I was saying this, I think we were saying this on the United View on the red carpet on Monday night. I think it was Flex or KG that was saying this. But if you're a striker at Man United, if you're an English striker at Man United and you have a half good season, you will make the World Cup squad. You can be a striker at Villa and you could deserve to be in the World Cup squad, but you might not make it. If you're a half decent striker at Man United, you will make the World Cup squad. That's the fact. If he's a half decent player for us, he will make the World Cup squad. And you might say, but look, Tuchel didn't pick any of our players. Yeah, because we finished 15th. But like, if our players had been good, he would have picked them. Do you know what I mean? If let's say Højlund was English and he just scored 16 goals for us in the league last season, Tuchel would have picked Højlund. Do you know what I mean? He didn't, but yeah. Are we capable of signing Mbeumo and Watkins? Yes, if we sell. We're not capable of doing it until we sell some players, but if we sell some players, we are capable of doing it. It's also one thing to mention that Aston Villa do have interest in Garnacho, so do Chelsea. So potentially Garnacho goes one way, Watkins goes the other way. Also, because of PSR, I think you could see us bidding 45 million for Watkins and Villa bidding 60 million for Garnacho, and a deal happens that way, which only means 15 million profit on Garnacho, but it would also mean that money on Garnacho we could spend over 4 years and Villa could spend the Watkins money over 4 years, blah, blah, blah. That wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me if there was some Garnacho Watkins talk ongoing. I'd rather get Watkins than Emi Martinez. I wouldn't spend more than 45 million on Watkins. I wouldn't spend more than 45 million on him. But Watkins for under 45 million, I'm not going to complain. Prem proven. Last season, we were talking people saying Watkins had a bad season last year. Watkins poor last season. Do you know how many goals Watkins got in the Premier League last season? Okay, 16. Imagine our fan base if Højlund got 16 goals and 8 assists last season. Imagine in the league, not on all comps, the league. Imagine that. Rasmus Højlund, 16 league goals and 8 assists last season. How have we been talking about Rasmus or Xerxes if they'd have got 16 goals and 8 assists in the league? we'd have been, oh my god, oh wow, 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 wow. Watkins is shite, apparently. Come on. Come on. I'm just saying, Watkins would be, for me, a good signing, a good bit of business. And there's reports that Watkins is open to United. Yes, he's 30 in December. I have questions over the price tag, but what's worked better at United? Signing young strikers or signing experienced strikers? You know? Højlund, it's just not worked. Look at the experienced strikers that we brought in. Okay, Zlatan, over 30. Ronaldo, over 30. Cavani, over 30. Now, Watkins was never as good as any of those players in their prime, but you look at the strikers we brought in over 30, they're only here for 2 seasons, but how good were they for those 2 seasons compared to what we got out of Højlund? Compared to young strikers we signed? Depay, was he coming in as a striker or a young player? Started playing him in the middle, you know? Højlund. For me, you've got Mbeumo, you've got Cunha, you've got the players for the future. Go, if you can't get Gyokeres and you can't get Osimhen, would you rather us spend 85 million on Ekitike or half that on Watkins? Half the money we get for Ekitike on Watkins. I think, because for me, get Watkins this summer, then wait and see what happens with the following summer with the striker market. Also, Watkins doesn't block Chido's pathway. He doesn't block Xerxes' pathway. I still believe that Xerxes could be a very good long-term player for us. So could Chido. Højlund could even be. Højlund could learn from Watkins. So I'm very open to Ollie Watkins coming to Manchester United, despite age. I'm very open to it. I wouldn't pay over 45 million for him, but I'm open to it. I think it would be a good deal. The problem is Villa might want 60. They wanted 60 in January. Apparently, they'd be willing to accept 50 now, according to some sources. But I think 60 is what they would push for because it's Manchester United. But I think potentially you could see Garnacho going one way, Watkins going the other way, and we make a bit of profit because Garnacho, of course, is going to be worth a little bit more than Watkins. But people talk about going for a younger forward. For me, I think you could get another 3 years out of Watkins. And I just want a striker that's going to be there for the next 2 years, this season and next season, that is reliable. Because hopefully in 2 seasons' time, when we're going into the transfer window, all we need to do is get a striker. In 2 seasons' time, we had a really good season. All we need is to get an elite level striker. And Watkins has done his job for 2 years, and then we can do that. That's just the way I see it, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm all for Watkins for the right price. Not 60 million. Nah, too much. But I'm open for it for the right price. Anyway, people, we're going to wrap up today's live show here, by the way. So why don't you go over and raid Never a Foul? They're talking about Eze, Rodrigo, Sancho swap deal. They're talking about all of that on Never a Foul. So go give them a raid. Say Alice raid. I will be back with a live stream later today. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Bye.